So I wanted to make this video because I know a lot of people, and by a lot I mean most people, do not understand what it means to be transgender, trans, um, because it has to do with gender dysphoria. Um, and think of it in these terms. If you look in the mirror and you see something about yourself you don't like, one feature, like let's say your nose is too big, you don't like your eyebrows, you wish you had different eye color. Well, for a trans person, that's everything about them. They don't like their hair, they don't like their eyes, they don't like the way they sound, they don't like the way that they look facially, they don't like certain features of their body. I'm not going to say on video. Um, they may not like how big their feet are. They may not like how muscular or non-muscular their arms or legs are. So it's just this never-ending checklist of things that a person that is trans dislikes about themselves, and it's not something that can be fixed by just saying, "Oh, love yourself in the mirror," because it's like that's every single day. You wake up and that is still there. You wake up and it's still there every single day of your life. You wake up and it's like that. And for me, I went to college starting in 2004 to be in architecture. And I created this persona when I was in school. My last name used to be Duke. I was known by mostly everyone I knew as Duke. Um, and the persona was this person who liked to wear baseball caps, was really quirky, weird, nerd, loved American history, um, loved fantasy novels, loved watching superhero movies, loved sports, loved playing board games, this long list of stuff. So you think, oh, this is a fairly, whatever. Um, None of that was real. And you're like, well, how is that the case? I took on a persona to try and get other people to like me so I could like myself. I didn't like who I was. That's also the time when I had facial hair, I had a beard and mustache. Um, I think that and the hat were to try and hide my identity so I didn't have to see myself in the mirror. Um, and yeah, I felt very lonely. Very lonely. I had friends, but I couldn't tell them how I felt about this because I wasn't 100% certain I knew how I felt because gender dysphoria was not something that I was informed about growing up. Uh, and so yeah, it's been a rough since college, especially starting in the fall of 2007. So 2007, I had a lot of academic problems because I got overwhelmed. That was probably the first that I can actually think about, pinpointing of being actually depressed in my life. 2 years later, in the fall of 2009, I had another serious bout of depression, which actually led to the first time that I can think of where I had means, thoughts, and actually the ability to commit suicide. Um, and then I had a similar bout of depression in 2021. Well, from 2007 to 21, um, so a span of about 14, 15 years, I have been struggling to figure out who I am. I felt like my life was on hold. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt like I didn't know who I was as a person. I didn't like anything about myself. I was working a full time job. Wasn't sure I liked my job. The stuff went on and on and on about stuff. I just felt like I was stationary and the world around me was just flying by at 95 miles an hour, and I had no clue what to do. That's when I finally, 2021 hit in the fall, and I was starting to really question things about myself uh, for my gender identity. And that's when I realized, the reason why I'm struggling is I don't like myself as a person. That means, I had to look a little bit more into it and realize that's because I don't fit the confines of being this man. I don't want to be this. Once I came to that realization, accepted myself as a trans woman, and came and accepted a name, and this is not a construct, as opposed to what Duke, the persona, was. I'm figuring out my actual identity now, and that's Caitlin. It's interesting to see where it's going to go because, yeah, I only know a couple of things about myself, and I know one of the things I've struggled with over the years with, I creating this construct, this persona, is I don't know if the word chameleon is the right word in this, but I will kind of adopt things to make myself try to fit in better with things. Like in college, I tried, doing video games with people. I was helping out at my church. Like all this stuff was stuff that I did in order to survive, in order to get myself to like myself, hoping, that other people would like me, which would in turn make me like me. So, yeah, as I said, none of that really worked. And now I'm to the point where I know like 3 things about myself. Aside from the fact that I'm a parent, I know that I like to walk as exercise. I like to do scroll saw work, and I like to bake. Those are 3 things that are important in my identity. I probably will add a 4th. I still identify myself as a believer in God. No, I don't classify myself as a Christian. Completely different discussion. Not in this video, and not open debate if anybody puts any comments. So, I guess then there's 4 things about myself that I know. The rest of it I'm trying to figure out. So it'll be interesting to see where my life goes. I am thinking about doing some more videos about being a trans person because I know there's not a lot about it, and there's a lot of fear about what it means to be a trans person, especially in certain groups. So the more information is out there, the better it is for everyone. So, okay, so long.